beyond this gate.
Mind doing the honors?
Sarcastic ass.
Here we are. The employee housing district, where they put you when your parents work for Shinra. While their reactors were slowly killing the planet, we were living the good life.
Yeet. Oh, it's already stopped.
Figures. Still leave the lights on every night. For the girl who only comes home once every other week. Mom's an old-fashioned thing like that.
Think she'll make us pizza? Her Midgard special?
She's quite the cook. Quick to whip up finger-licking food, even if you drop by in the dead of night.
And she loves guests who ask for seconds or thirds. Okay, let's head in. Cloud? You know what to do. Why don't you wait around the corner over there?
Okay.
It's a shame you wanted to try the Midgard special. You would have really liked it.
With your help, we won't need luck.
The Jesse job.
Inside, you'll find a room with two doors. Don't take the one in front of you. You want the room on the right. That's where you'll find it.
It's funny how they have like a little entryway, but on the back door instead of the front door. You can only assume that the front door opens to the living room and the kitchen, like lumped into one. Probably don't have a dining room. Based on the size of the house, right?
I need you to grab a Shinra ID card. And yeah, I know I should do it myself, but I honestly don't think I'm up to it. Just do this for me, okay?
I need that ID card.
My dad, he was a maintenance supervisor at the reactor.
Thanks.
Please, take more. Careful, it's hot.
Mission accomplished.
When are you going to give up on the gold saucer? How long has it been since you even performed?
A lot of people really rely on Jesse.
has a stagehand, though, right? You can be one of those anywhere. So why not come home and get a job at the Sector 8 theater?
I'll think about it. You know, I'd really love to stay and chat, but we gotta go.
So soon?
Yeah, well, we hadn't planned on dropping by. But let's have some of your famous pizza.
So good.
Sure I can't tempt you with some more?
Maybe just a couple slices, Mrs. R.
What?
Hey, I'm doing it for you guys. You don't want me going to work on an empty stomach.
I'm planning on using a weaker blasting agent this time. Since I can't get in touch with my supplier, our only option is to loot a warehouse owned by Shinra. Hey there.
Is it?
Now comes the hard part. I'm gonna use this to sneak into the 76 Annex.
All right. Let's get to it.
Sorry, but you're staying outside. Only I know what to steal from where. So it's gotta be me who goes in.
So we came all this way just to eat pizza?
You think I'd let you off that easy? You're gonna earn every slice helping Cloud. Just do the thing where you draw everyone's attention away. Like you did with my parents. What's the word again? Maybe I'm more nervous than I thought.
Diversion.
Yeah, that. Nice one, military man.
So what? Does this mean we're gonna have to do Shinra folks out to dinner?
You know damn well what she means. While you're inside, we make sure the guards are focused on the outside. Yeah?
Exactly. Couldn't have put it any better. When you see a flare go up, that's your cue. Rush the front gates and make for the warehouse plaza. The more hell you raise, the more time you buy me.
You're gonna run this guy into the ground, aren't you? How much time do you think you need?
Not too much. I'll be in and out. I'll send up another flare when I'm done. We rendezvous in the vacant lot up ahead.
Hold on. How are we supposed to get back to the slums? Wait for the first train?
No. I want to be back before that. Don't worry. I have something worked out. Now, let's get this done.
They don't have any blemishes or anything.
Well, that diversion's not going to create itself. Jesse's dad was in there, right? Yeah. Mako poisoning. Happened while Jesse was doing a show with the Gold Saucer. What do you care?
No. I want to hear it.
Jessie always wanted to be an actress. Worked her ass off for years. Until finally she caught a break. Top billing. Parents were thrilled. And then, right before opening night,
Her dad had access.
collapsed from overwork. And in the worst possible place, Mako's storage. Lay there half a day before someone found him. Been like that ever since. No change whatsoever. And that's what got her into planetology. Led her to seek out Avalanche. How far we've come.
Elon Musk. He is standing up. Elon Musk has spoken. We've got to beat this, right? Because we're still on Facebook and on YouTube. If you bleeped out the swearing, because Elon Musk's rallying cry, we're going for it. We're demonetized anyway. But because the government. I remember that when the government went, you better demonetize Russell Brand because we've got to help people by demonetizing Russell Brand. Oh, yes, I remember how the government have been helping us. All of our lives have been so helpful. They were so helpful in the pandemic, weren't they? Weren't they ever so helpful? That COVID inquiry. Just a couple of bad apples. Just a couple of blonde-haired lunatics. Let's have a look at some of the memes that have emerged from Elon Musk's great moment.
If somebody could try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
We're fighting back against the system. We're awakening. Hang on a minute. These institutions can't hold themselves together. They require our compliance. What are you going to do against Musk? You don't have to be Elon Musk to have free speech and stand up against the system, but it helps.
Go fuck yourself. There's a public perception that was part of a apology tour. There was advertisers. We talked about Michael today.
So if we
You
don't
don't want them to
show
advertise? If somebody can try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
have been forgotten because we've been browbeaten. He couldn't have shook up the system more if he'd worn a kilt and bared his ass Braveheart style. Blueface is surely the next move, but the rest of the conversation is equally enjoyable. We got the longer bit of it as well when he just chats for a while.
You're clarifying this now. But there's a public perception that that was part of a apology tour, if you will. That when this had been said online, there was all of the criticism, there was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
You don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's been
Marco's
trying
the
to
essence of
advertising, blackmail with money,
of memory and
go
hope.
fuck yourself.
It's not something you
Never gets old. I mean, it's only happened in the last 24 hours. But what we're witnessing, I think, in real time, in fact, what the whole anti-free speech movement is about is this. The new tendency of technology and communications is for decentralized but unified democratic power. You could be running your own community now. You could be deciding how you want your nation, your state, whatever kind of principality you live within, you could have more democratic power than ever before. But they need the state to intervene. And the state intervenes on whose behalf? Is it yours? Is it you they're helping? Or is it their corporate paymasters? The model is beginning to crack. It's beginning to change. They have to work so hard to stop you awakening. Do you know where I get my encouragement from? From you. And seeing how hard they work to try to keep you distracted. How hard they work to shut down dissenting voices. They will do anything. They will say anything to ensure that you do not awaken and become free. And I glory in this because I know that they know deep down they've already lost. Glory to us. And Elon Musk, I guess he's got the dollar. He's got the dollar to back it up. But I like to see New York Times in the background. It sweets me.
Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Well, let me ask you then.
Really enjoying that, isn't he? He's an unusual cat, Elon Musk, because you've got to be unusual, I suppose. The rockets, those cars, the flamethrower thing, buy Twitter, change his name to X, all of that. Like, you sort of see, he operates on an unusual frequency. What's fascinating is to see a mind like that, that's the mind of an engineer that knows how things work, how things operate. You might not like Elon Musk, okay? You don't have to like Elon Musk, but you are going to have to start forming alliances with people that are willing to stand up against the establishment, because the establishment has already decided the way this goes. More and more authoritarianism, more and more censorship, more and more surveillance, more and more legitimization of control. Just think about the last 3 years. Think about every crisis that happens and how it's handled. There's been a crisis, therefore we censor, therefore we surveil, therefore get in your house, sit still.
That's how I feel. Don't advertise.
How do you think then about the economics of X? If part of the underlying model, at least today, and maybe it needs to shift, maybe the answer is it needs to shift away from advertising. If
loads of people must be signing up for X now, right? Loads of people must be subscribing to get those blue ticks right now. There'll be blue ticks all over the place, I imagine, as a result of this.
this is the one part of your business where you will be beholden to those who have this view, what do you do?
Why?
I'm still high on it.
I understand that there's a reality too, right?
Yes. No.
I mean, Linda Yacarino's right here, and she's got to sell advertising.
Absolutely. So, totally. No. Actually, what this advertising boycott is going to do, it's going to kill the company.
And do you think that they're not right?
And the whole world will know that those advertisers killed the company, and we will document it in great detail.
But those advertisers, I imagine, are going to say, we didn't kill the company.
Oh yeah?
They're going to say,
Tell it to Earth.
but they're going to say Elon.
Because Russell has done this, the whole class has to stay behind after school. I remember that move. That's not going to work, is it?
That you killed the company because you said these things, and that they were inappropriate things, and that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform, right? That's what they're going to say.
And let's see how Earth responds to that.
So okay, this goes back to...
We'll both make our cases,
right,
and we'll see what the outcome is.
What are the economics of that for you? You have enormous resources, so you can actually keep this company going for a very long time. Would you keep it going for a long time if there was no advertising?
I mean, if the company fails because of an advertised boycott, it will fail because of an advertised boycott. And that will be what bankrupted the company, and that's what everyone on Earth will know.
What do you think then of the idea? This goes back to the idea of trust, though.
It'll be gone. And it'll be gone because of an advertised boycott.
But you recognize that some of those people are going to say that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform. And I just wonder and ask you and think about that for a
Tell
second.
it to the judge.
But the judge is going to be...
The judge is the public.
And you think that the public is going to say that Disney is making a mistake?
Yes.
And they're going to boycott Disney?
They already are.
Well, there are some that are for lots of different reasons, but you think that this is going to...
I think what's happening is people across the world are awakening to the fact that the establishment, the bureaucratic class, the globalist establishment does not like ordinary people. If I can offer you this one thing, if you watch us wherever you're watching this, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you're in the Rumble chat like Razbender and Freedom Fighter and Holy Master and Chalice, if we can overcome our own tendency to divide among one another, if we can have happy confederacies where we overlook people's racial, cultural, sexual identity, traditional or progressive, and say, actually, in a decentralized model, that doesn't matter. What we need to do is take the head off the serpent, topple the beast. Once that Tower of Babel comes a-falling down, surely then we can create new democratized communities. The thing they fear more than anything is the moment that you stop going, those people are slightly different and therefore I hate them. They read a different book, they wear a different outfit. They're like, once that ends, your power is so remarkable. Once we individually awaken and collectively organize, this is it. It's over. Now, I don't think that Elon Musk is the second coming. I don't think that Donald Trump is the second coming. I don't think the second coming is going to happen anywhere except within your individual consciousness. And isn't that glorious? Because you can control it, you can induce it. The more that we detach from our personal requirements to fulfill desire, to flee from fear, the more power we have to give. And let me know if you agree with that you are powerful. You're not irrelevant. Do you know that? I don't think like, oh, Elon Musk has said this thing, let's let him run the entire planet. I'm saying let him run Elon Musk. He's doing a good job of running Elon Musk. Then you run you, because it's possible if we can only remove them. He talked, of course, about who would be supporting in 2024, an interesting moment. Let's have a look at Elon Musk talking about the forthcoming election.
I would not vote for that. You vote for Trump? So let's say I vote for Trump, but I mean... This is definitely a difficult choice.
Would you vote for Nikki Haley? Nikki Haley, by the way, wants all social media names to be exposed. Did you know?
No, I think that's outrageous. Yeah, no, I'm not going to vote for some pro-censorship candidate.
I want to see the bit, is it on button 5? Let's have a look at this from the Irish Parliament, where they're talking. This is fantastic. I've got personal experience of this. What they do is in any crisis, they say, and therefore we need to control free speech. Your free speech, not only my free speech, not Elon Musk's free speech, your free speech, your independent thought is their enemy. Legacy media is dying. They've lost the ability to control the narrative. They slip up now and say stuff like, oh, the people of Ireland are all racist, which is literally from an episode of Father Ted. The people of Ireland have been historically oppressed by an imperial nation. They have not got a colonial past as colonial oppressors. So calling Irish people far-right racist reveals what? That's a technique they use. You are far right. They've got other ways of shutting down dissenting voices. They've got other slurs and smears and techniques to shut down voices that might awaken yet more independent thought, challenge their interests yet more strongly, but they've made a mistake in Ireland. Here they are. This is an Irish politician. You're going to love this. She's talking live about how we had people from the police force live talking to Facebook. You know, no offense if you're watching this on Facebook. Facebook were like, yeah, we're shutting that down. We're deleting posts. We're shutting it down. And they didn't get a response for X. If someone believes in free speech, it don't matter if you disagree with them, because they agree with your right to disagree with them. That is one of the foundational principles for which we have to fight, and I've got to tell you, for which we have to be ready to die. Let's have a look at this Irish politician talking about how they live tried to manipulate social media platforms to control your free speech.
I spoke to a detective in Pearse Street on Saturday who was actively engaged with the social media companies. throughout Thursday. He was actively engaged with TikTok, actively engaged with Meta, so Instagram and Facebook. He was actively engaged with Twitter or X. She said very clearly that social media companies, in particular TikTok and Meta, they were responding, they were engaging with Gardaí, and they were taking down these vile posts as they came up. X were not. X were not. They didn't engage. They did not fulfill their own community.
Do you know that in Ireland right now, they're trying to pass legislation which they say is to prevent hate speech that will actually permit the Garda or the Irish police force to go into Irish people's homes if they suspect they've got hateful material and snatch stuff from them. This is our country with Ireland's history, granting that amount of power to a state force that's basically behaving like an external oppressor. You know, in our country, the online safety bill, we've got to stop hate speech. Free speech is not about hate speech. The speech they fear most of all is the kind of speech that will bring us together, the kind of speech where we say to one another, it doesn't matter if you're Muslim, it doesn't matter if you're Jew, it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or if you're an atheist. Our interests as individuals in a decentralised but unified anti-establishment movement can align. When I had conversations with people whose political views I do not agree with over in the United States of America, I said, would you be willing to stand on a platform with groups that are diametrically opposed to you? Say you're pro-gun and they're anti-gun, say you're pro-life and they're pro-choice. Would you be willing to stand on a platform with them against the establishment? People are beginning to say yes. People are beginning to see that even your own worst enemy on a cultural and tribal level is more of an ally than the centralist neoliberal establishment that works for globalist interests and wants to have power that goes beyond not only your individual power but your whole nation's power. That is the aim, that is the goal. They've been doing well up till now, but the revolution is coming.
These standards, and that is why we are moving to a situation where these companies do not get to self-monitor. That's why Commission Man has been established to make sure that these companies are held responsible, because while some were responsible, others were not. So let me reassure you, Gardaí were seized of this. They were engaging. They were engaging directly with the social media companies.
Amazing, what a fantastic and extraordinary story, and that shows you the nature of the problem. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to. Become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.
How upset are you at this moment? That just happened. No, it's not upset, it's disappointing. I mean, look, here's the thing. And I know what George was accused of doing. It's wrong. It's wrong what he was accused of doing. But he was accused. He hasn't even had his day in court. We are a nation of laws. We're not a nation of men. And if this institution is going to now ignore the rule of law because of political preferences and political decisions, it is going to be damning not just for the House, but it's going to be damning for the United States. We have a president of the United States who has flagrantly ignored the asylum law and has rewritten it to suit his own political interests and is destroying this country. And we're not even going to allow a member who was elected, regardless of how you feel about it, to have his whole day in court. Until today, only 5 people have been expelled from the House of Representatives. 3 of them fought for the Confederacy, and 2 were convicted in the court of law. And now we're saying that all it takes is a report from the Ethics Committee, and I respect the members of the committee, but now what we're saying is all it takes is a report from Ethics, voted out unanimously, to now expel members from the House. Is Chuck Schumer going to now bring a motion to the floor to expel Bob Menendez? I would hope the Senate would follow our lead, but I doubt that they will.
Wasn't the findings so overwhelming enough?
The findings being overwhelming are not the point. Every American is afforded their day in court. In a court of law by a jury of their peers. That is the basis of our nation. Our nation is not the greatest because of the whim of men. The Constitution and our government is to remove the whim of men and be followed by law. nation being so caught up in politics and posturing, not following the rule of law. And look, we're all political people here. Let's not assume that we're not political people. But the rule of law matters more than our own personal politics and our own personal grievances and our own personal issues in our own districts. The Constitution is the rule of law. It's a dangerous precedent. And I will also say that the very fabric of the Bill of Rights is not just found with the framers of this nation. It goes as far back as Magna Carta in 1215. You are allowed to have due process and a complete adjudication of that. And it should never be cut short because of political preferences. And people might say, oh my gosh, Byron Donalds is so emphatically defending George Santos. No, I am not. I am defending the rule of law and the rubric of a free people to govern themselves. And it can't be done by the whims of random politicians. That's how the Roman Republic fell. And if we continue these kind of actions, that's how this. What are your thoughts on different shots?
On your extent, you've got a smaller majority now. When that's the reality of what's just happened.
I mean, yeah, that's the politics. That's the politics. I will never get upset about politics. I don't think you guys ever really see me this way. I'm upset about it because you're talking about erasing the very fabric of what's made us the greatest nation in the world. And it's not the actions of George Santos. It's the fact that everybody is afforded their day in courts. And that was denied.
George Santos ends his day in court. Today he lost his job. So how do you square that?
So are we going to now tell every American that if you're accused of something, you get fired on the spot? Is that not going to be the standard of the United States of America? Hold on. We have people who are athletes, they're entertainers, they're pillars of our society. Are they not going to be fired and removed from their capacity to take care of their families or live their livelihoods because they were accused? If that's going to be the standard in America going forward, I shudder for the future of our country. That should not be the standard.
The ethics committee said his conduct is obviously coming. The ethics committee is meant to police members, is it not?
The ethics committee is not judge, jury, and execution. They also came out with a report that said that he should be condemned. That's what they voted 8-0 for. They didn't vote 8-0 in ethics for expulsion. They didn't do that. And they're wrong. That's okay.
What do you think?
I would also argue my colleagues if they thought if they listened to what I said, we'd be in a much better place.
What do you think changed the equation from previous? What do you think he survived the past 2 months? What was different?
I think the ethics committee report coming out for a lot of members in their view that was enough for them.
Enough for process.
But again, I will say expulsion is very different from censure. Very, very different. When you expel a member, what you're actually saying is the people who voted him in, whether you agree with them or not, whether you agree with George Santos or not, that the voters who sent him here now have the need to be represented. That's what expulsion does. That is a significantly higher bar. That's where it's 2/3 in our chamber. And the precedent until today has always been that a member has to be found guilty in a court of law or have fought for the Confederacy. That was the precedent, that was the standard, and that has been eroded today.
This news is funded by
Alright, assholes, show me your hand!
Fun fact about me, I fought CM Punk in his very first WWE televised match. Now, the match was on Sunday Night Heat, and it was a tag match, me and Simon Dean versus Punk and unsigned talent, Russell Simpson. Here's what's interesting about this match. Simon Dean and I actually disobeyed direct orders from WWE and did not get in trouble. So we're going to watch the match, and I'm going to tell you exactly what the top brass told us to do. Show you what we actually did, and tell you how we avoided getting into trouble altogether. And a quick thank you to Mike Bucci, a.k.a. Simon Dean, who helped me dust off the 18-year-old cobwebs from my head and reminded me about this match. Now, this First match, nothing special. It was an opportunity for Simon and I to showcase what we can do as a tag team. Get an easy victory without sacrificing someone currently on our roster. And for CM Punk and Russell Simpson at the time, they were unsigned. So this was a tryout match for them, allowing the office to see exactly what they could do in hopes of getting a WWE contract. And there we get our first sighting of Punk. When I first met Punk, it was actually through Stevie Richards. Stevie came up to me earlier in that day, and Punk and Stevie were friends at the time. And Stevie asked me, he was like, Maven, I want to make sure Punk has a good showing. Can you guys do everything in your power to put forth a good match? I was like, absolutely. Now, on the Sunday Night Heat or Velocity, the producers or the agents, they would give us guys a little bit more leeway in allowing us to do pretty much what we wanted to do. As long as we hit time cues, we still had to hit. If they gave us 6 minutes with entrances, it had to be a tight 6. 7 had to be a tight 7.
Because he still doesn't have abs as good as yours. Enough about Stone Cold Steve Austin. We used the Simon.
It's so stupid.
And it's about English God. He looked great. And yeah, he's ready to roll, but yet at the same time, he disrespected my main man Maven and Simon D. That I cannot approve of.
Punk has no clue what the higher-ups asked of us. This is going to be as much news to him as it is to you.
Simon shakes the back. He did it over the obvious. It was obvious.
Simon's carried.
It's somehow they got to do this.
Nice foot reverse. Look at that height on that hip toss.
Hey, man. Well, they're not winning too, man. It's these two guys are taking out right here.
Now we see Punk for the first time entering this match. Backstage earlier in the day, and going over the match with Punk and Simpson. I honestly didn't know who Punk was. I did know that he had carved out a pretty good niche for himself on the independent wrestling scene, and he had somewhat of a name. So I knew going into it he was going to be a good worker. But this is pro wrestling, and you're always going to adhere to the veteran. And in this case, the veteran was by far Simon Dean. Now, Simon Dean wrestled in ECW as Nova. He had years in the business overall in the ring. 90% of this match was put together by Simon. Backstage, Punk was all ears. He was easy going. He was willing to do whatever was needed for the match. And to be honest with you, all of us was listening to Simon. And Simon actually was the one who had the idea to protect Shit.
Now they have to look right in the ring. You understand? Let me ask you this. Is Hulk Hogan stop to speak?
I stop it right here for one reason. Like I said, it's been 18 years since I was in the ring with Hulk. But what I do remember was he wasn't stiff in any way. He was very solid. The kicks were in there, but they weren't overdone. They sounded exactly where they needed to be. He was with everything. You could tell that he had good training. You could tell that he had been wrestling good opponents, and you knew that. I don't want to say he was destined for greatness, because at this point, I don't think I saw superstar on him, but you knew that he was a great worker.
Why are there two cameras?
Develop into something else. He just needed something to help.
There are higher heights to which you and I can still soar.
Do you have a secondary?
Until then, try not to die. I'll see you on the road, my friend.
Let's go. Right.
Run while you can! Stand down! Your team shouldn't be here. Glad yours is.
Come here. Wedge will be fine, but you will be if they start asking questions.
And who are they?
First guest to the party, another avalanche cell. Our holy will now friends from the old guard. It's always their way or the highway. Lately, they've been a real pain in the ass. Till now.
So then why are they here?
Beats me. We've been on the outs ever since our cell got labeled too extreme. They're the ones running around with mill spec gear. Thanks to all the material used
Also been a good job to mount to a good punch. The biggest champion you can do is fans right now, Teddy. He does some flattering well.
Looking back, I see why Punk became what he did, because even in a small 6 minute match with Velocity, he was selling great. He was giving his face forward, and he was providing, not just to us, but to the crowd. He was giving the crowd a reason to hate us, and that reason was hope. He was providing hope to them, and a reason to say we sucked. Right there, while I'm off doing my flex, getting my heat, go back and watch it. You notice Punk pounding the mat. Small things like that, the people in the back are going to take notice of. Those tiny extras are what makes someone go from here to here, and what might give them a superstar career.
Look at this. TV up and down. Somebody cover these guys. Punch in the leg. Forget about it.
Okay, right there is exactly where the one thing that they wanted us to get the pinfall victory of 1, 2, 3, one CM Punk. And for whatever reason, I had no clue. I mean, he wasn't even assigned talent at the time, but he already had heat in the company. There were already feathers he had ruffled. I don't know how, and I don't know whose. Nova saw it different. Nova wanted to give the guy a chance. And Nova made the decision that earlier on when we were going over the match backstage, he said, once we come in, I'm going to knock you out, Punk. You roll to the floor. Go to the floor. That way we can get the slam 1, 2, 3 on Simpson. I don't know why Simon wanted to protect Punk. It could have been a favor to Stevie, like Stevie asked us earlier in the day, or he might have seen in Punk what the entire world would come to see years later. Simon was always a good gauge of talent. He might have known that Punk, for whatever reason, had heat backstage, and he was just doing everything in his power to protect him, knowing that
if there was any trouble to be had, it was going to fall on us. And by us, I mean Simon. So the question remains, how do we then not get in trouble for disobeying direct orders? During this time, next night. So I telling the law when I hit you over the floor rather than standing up on the apron so you can act back in. If you're on the floor, we're going to have to go with the flow. We're going to have to finish the match. But being able to get the slam is telling us once we got backstage because we could look at it and say, hey, we had 30 seconds. We knew we had to go home. Russell was right there. We had to get the 1, 2, 3 on him because Punk was on the floor. So to management, it looks like a miscommunication and an improvisation by us when in reality it was all thought about ahead of time by the creator of the Simon system. And this is actually probably even news to Punk. I doubt Punk knows that for this Sunday Night Heat match, the pinfall victory was supposed to go to him. We get backstage, the producers stuck their hands out, said, good job. I never heard anything about it. Never got any heat for it. Never got in trouble for it. I do remember Punk being extremely gracious for the match that we all just had. And we evidently had such a good match that a few months later they would free up room for Punk's impending contract by releasing me. I in no way, shape, or form encourage or condone not listening to management. Who knows? You might find yourself in wrestling school. To find out the truth about wrestling school, click the link.
Parachutes?
Huh? What do you mean half figure?
50-50 is pretty good odds if you ask me.
Look at this. It's a 9-time powerlifting state record holder, and it didn't come from throwing on a glute band and walking side to side. It came from lifting heavy-ass weight. Lifting heavy weight should be a part of your program. The best way to do that is with the heavy weights. Phenomenal.
Like I said before, I would prefer if you kept this between us until I'm
Isolating them as well.
It's not fucking hours.
It's less about trying to tweak the form to make it turn your toes out.
Let him down gently, alright?
Your feet up too far, which brings your semi-tendinosis and membranosis. Next up is
like this is actually leaning back and forcing your hips up.
Yeah, I know. You hated doing this thing before. Now you're going to force your hips up and every little choke is sticking out. It's only a matter of time before somebody walks by and flicks it. Look at this. It's a 9-time powerlifting. Brock Lesnar is a big dude.
Oh, I know. I see you guys.
39. You make him look so small, but what think is a true testament to Brock's strength is he picks you up for that F5 like you weigh nothing.
Think Jesse Biggs made it backstage?
I guess.
Brock Lesnar is a big dude. And then when you see you guys in the ring, WrestleMania 39, you make him look so small, but what? Hey, Pally, why don't you come down off that thing, all right? Why are you doing this? Whoa, come on. Okay, hey, stop wasting anyone's time. Come on, get down off that wire now. Quit fooling around. Okay, hey, hold on. Oh, shit. Hey. Oh, don't fall. Hey, don't go falling. Freaking believe this little pissant.
Now with police on both rooftops, I have no choice. I have to stay on my wire.
Whoa, buddy. No. Oh. Wow.
This is Big's place. I guess he hasn't made it home yet.
Guess not.
Device was such a problem.
Hope he isn't worst casing his He's got to have the ability to think he thinks. Worrying about all the possible outcomes to his head.
Let me guess.
I mean, he was Irish. Anyway,
Instead, his crew was so infested with gonorrhea that Blackbeard demanded injection equipment and mercury. Mercury was thought to be a cure when injected into the urethra. In 1650, the French government shipped
lots of pretty girls trying to make it big on stage live here. So don't hang around or they might get the wrong idea. I'm telling you this for your own good. People around here love to gossip.
They know about Jesse and Avalanche?
Nah, it's all good. They think she's an actress. Oh, and one more thing. It's all a game, girls. Don't get bored.
You lost me.
Bye.
Life's a stage, we have to play.
Drove me around town to town, like Cody probably is responsible for getting me town to town safely for a good 3 years of my career. If it wasn't for him, I might not be here right now. He was my babysitter after the show. How much is he pushing me over for?
With all respect to the police department and everything, it's not fair.
Mike Wiggins is anything but bashful, but the way he chose to address an ongoing dispute with Pierce Township police is quickly becoming the talk of the town. Wiggins says he's being harassed by police and zoning officials.
It's kind of weird.
Loud music. You're shooting. But loud music.
Pierce Township Police Chief Paul Brocksterman says that's not true.
He said he's hunting coyotes, but he's firing off 25 to 50 rounds at a time. I feel bad for him because I think he thinks he's trying to do the right thing when he's the one that's drawing the focus on himself.
Stop this picking on me and tell these people that keeps calling the police and keeps harassing me on everything I'm doing. Leave me alone, please. With all respect to the police department and everything, this is not fair.
Mike Wiggins.
Only in fucking Stratford you see someone sitting in the fucking photos. Only in fucking Stratford.
No business can survive San Francisco's suicidal political policies. Check out Nancy Pelosi's neighborhood, Ghost Town, Zombie Village.
In San Francisco.
There's a cave there. Is there a bear in the cave? I don't know. I'm not going in to find out. I'm going to set up cameras and see if a bear comes out. So I set up the cameras all throughout summer. No bear goes in and out. Maybe a bear went in there to hibernate. So here's what you do. You set up powder outside of the cave. Something that will record the footprint. And you just monitor this month after month after month after month. Do it for 12 months. Look up in the charts how often a bear has to eat and how long it would take a bear to die for not eating. If the period of time you waited is long enough so that there are no footprints, you conclude that there is no bear in that cave. I just demonstrated a negative sufficient enough for me to no longer pose that question and go on to another problem. But if you are so distracted that it's not a formal proof of a negative, then you could just keep sitting there wondering while the rest of us decode the nature of the universe. It's a cave there. Is there
A woman has been experiencing some strange activity in her house ever since she moved in. She lives with her 2 dogs and has noticed their demeanor change drastically in the new house. She often hears disembodied footsteps and notices objects have moved from their original position. She decided to install some cameras throughout the house in an attempt to capture whatever was causing the disturbances. As her 2 dogs are relaxing in the bedroom, one of them decides to disembodied footsteps and notices objects have moved from their original position. She decided to install some cameras throughout the house in an attempt to capture whatever was causing the disturbances. As her two dogs are relaxing in the bedroom, one of them decides to jump up on the bed. The dog on the bed eventually begins to look around as if something else was in the bedroom. Just moments after, a paper ball that's located on the bed begins to roll to the edge by itself. Right after the ball moves, the dog begins to whine as if it senses a presence nearby. A woman has been experiencing some strange activity in her house ever since she moved in. She lives with her two dogs and has noticed their demeanor change drastically in the new house. She often hears disembodied footsteps and notices objects have moved from their original position. She decided to install some cameras throughout the house in an attempt to capture whatever was causing the disturbances.
Pretty sure you can't see them unless they were physical contact first. I can tell you they're not invincible.
As her two dogs are relaxing in the bedroom, one of them decides to jump up on the bed. The dog on the bed eventually begins to look around as if something else was in the bedroom. Just moments after, a paper ball that's located on the bed begins to roll to the edge by itself. Right after the ball moves, the dog begins to whine as if it senses a presence nearby. A woman has been experiencing some...
While in China, an American man is very sexually wild and does not use a condom the entire time he is there. A week after arriving back in the States. If you see this bird, don't make it angry. If you see this bird walking towards you, don't make any sudden movements and definitely do not make it angry. In this video I found posted to Reddit, these people were just hanging out on the beach when this very large bird started walking their way. This bird seems to be extremely interested in this lady in particular, and she does the right thing here by not making any sudden movements. This bird in question, also known as the world's most dangerous bird, is known as a cassowary. And like many of the world's most deadly animals, this bird of course is found in, you guessed it, Australia. Seeing as most of you guys most likely haven't seen a cassowary, picture this right here, around 6 feet tall or 2 meters, the size of a grown man. What makes cassowaries so terrifying besides their very large height are the size of their claws. Their claws can reach up to about 5 inches in length, and this straight up looks like something you'd find on a velociraptor. Combine these razor sharp claws with the strength of their legs, which can put out around 1,000 pounds per square inch when they kick, and you've got a deadly bird. If you see this bird, don't make it angry. If you see this bird walking towards you, don't make any sudden movements and definitely do not make it angry. In this video I found posted to Reddit, these people were just hanging out on the beach when this very large bird started walking their way. This bird seems to be extremely interested in this lady in particular, and she does the right thing here by not making any sudden movements. This bird in question, also known as the world's most dangerous bird, is known as a cassowary. And like many of the world's most deadly animals, this bird of course is found in, you guessed it, Australia. Seeing as most of you guys most likely haven't seen a cassowary, picture this right here, around 6 feet tall or 2 meters, the size of a grown man. What makes cassowaries so terrifying besides their very large height are the size of their claws. Their claws can reach up to about 5 inches in length, and this straight up looks like something you'd find on a velociraptor. Combine these razor sharp claws with the strength of their legs, which can put out around 1,000 pounds per square inch when they kick, and you've got a deadly bird. If you see this bird, don't make it angry. If you see this bird walking towards you, don't make any sudden movements and definitely do not make it angry. In this video I found posted to Reddit, these people were just hanging out on the beach when this very large bird started walking their way. This bird seems to be extremely interested in this lady in particular, and she does the right thing here by not making any sudden movements. This bird in question, also known as the world's most dangerous bird, is known as a cassowary. And like many of the world's most deadly animals, this bird of course is found in, you guessed it, Australia. Seeing as most of you guys most likely haven't seen a cassowary, picture this right here, around 6 feet tall or 2 meters, the size of a grown man. What makes cassowaries so terrifying besides their very large height are the size of their claws. Their
so I kind of stand away from that, you know, like they're kind of great.
Is there any body mod you wouldn't do?
I remove a finger or some shit.
Or is somebody who's done that on purpose?
Yeah, I know like 2 or 3 people.
Why did they remove the finger? They just like were tired of it?
Yeah, well, one of the guys doesn't ever want to get married, so he removed this one.
Can't you just like not get married?
Yeah, no, it's just Brazilian dudes are weird, you know what I mean?
To you, what is the cause of Satanism?
Yeah, just like, you know, we're our own masters.
Are those permanent fangs?
Yeah, permanent fangs, implants and shit. I got the moon, I used to have the pentagram here. I got these, the little mini horns. This is my chip right here. Very much like a paint out kind of thing. I can paint stuff with that. It even glows in the dark and everything they do as well. If you ever want some, hit me up, man. El Paso, Texas. How do I feel about the rappers that look like me? Oh, those guys are a bunch of clowns, dude. That's why I tattooed my eyes, so I can like kind of stand away from that, you know, like they're kind of great.
Is there any body mod you wouldn't do?
I remove a finger or some shit.
Or is somebody who's done that on purpose?
This rock climber made this staff angry with this tree when he attempted this carnival game. He starts out by wiping off the bar so he doesn't slip off, which isn't against the rules. But when the timer begins, he reveals how much strength he really has. And you can see he's using a strategy to hang on longer by switching arms, which is also allowed. By now, most people would fall off or give up, but he was showing no signs of struggle whatsoever using this strategy. But when he nears the end of the 2-minute timer, he starts doing pull-ups for fun. And the staff wasn't happy with him, saying pull-ups were not allowed. But he still ended up beating the challenge anyways. Do you think he was cheating? This rock climber made the staff angry.
The hell were those things? Some kind of... I don't know. Guess I shouldn't be surprised, so never can tell what weird shit have come crawling out and strapped down here. It's those reactors. I'm telling you.
It hurt?
I'm gonna disqualify you.
Yeah.
White race. For yourself. Know why you're here? By one purpose.
Wrong answer, son. Yes, I need my gun for protection. Pieces of shit. Lady model. Pink candle would be nice. I have cash.
Okay.
Lady is being escorted out of a roller rink for being disruptive and violent. She's about to learn a very valuable lesson. Oh my god, look at some boys. Alright, check it out. Got it. He's being escorted out of a roller rink.
Listen, Wedge, I need you to hang back and guard the home front.
What? But I'm in perfect health!
Which makes you the perfect choice to look after Jesse and Marlene. Let's get this show on the road. To Mako Reactor.
9/11 is Palestine's 24/7. That's completely absurd. I found it really shocking. I have to say that your organisation within our lifetime said that it was an act of resistance on October the 2nd. That is the most un-Islamic thing I've ever heard in my life. Tying the hands of little children behind them, covering them in petrol and burning them alive. Please tell me, what is resistance about such inhumane torture of kids?
Since you want to bring up Islam, in Islam we believe that the bloodshed of any innocent person is equal to killing all of humanity. And this is something that, we believe. Unfortunately, Palestinians are put in a situation where they're in an open-air prison. What we were celebrating that day is them breaking out of that open-air.
mental illness. The main thing they have in common with leftist liberals is that they can tell you theirs is their religion of peace while sawing through a human being's neck, and you can't tell if they are ignorant of the hypocrisy because of delusion.
Straight up, guys, this is probably one of the most disturbing videos that I've seen in a long time. This video doesn't have a lot of context, but don't worry, I'm going to explain it for you. This video was recorded back in 1977 during the Formula One racing that took place in South Africa. And this man right here is Renzo Zorzi. Now, the reason that he pulled this car over to the side of the track is because his car ended up combusting. Even though this situation was happening on the track during the race did not stop. The cars kept on going by and passing Renzo. A few seconds after this particular frame, disaster struck. This marshal right here, Frederick Jansen Van Vuren, ended up running across the track in order to assist Renzo in putting his car out. Frederick ran across the track, though, at the worst possible time because this guy right here, Tom Price, was driving his F1 car right when he crossed. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about what happened to Frederick, but let me tell you, not good.
It's just pieces. That was the fucking guy.
Wilson suffered mechanical problems, the Ferrari never missed a beat. Tragedy struck the race on lap 22. Zorzi's shadow stopped opposite the pits, and the marshal, crossing the track with a fire extinguisher, was struck and killed instantly by Price's car. The extinguisher struck Price's head, causing fatal injuries, but the car continued at full speed until it crashed at Crowthorne Corner, hitting the Felicia in the process.
Get my boss down here.
Starting to see some serious demographic shifts. You know, one thing you should never do is take people for granted. Let's say you're running a fundraiser or really whatever it is, running a business.
After you take a deep breath, I can tell you're
support in general, not even
That
necessarily
obvious, huh?
monetary support. Those
Okay,
people are
I'm ready.
uplifting you. Those people are keeping you in a position to be able to, actually do things, mobilize funds, mobilize people, volunteers, you name it. Those people are at the core of your organization, your ability to really do anything. You cannot take those people for granted. And this is a lesson that the Democrats should have taken seriously maybe like 2 decades ago. Democrats have some very, very loyal voter blocks. Well, one by one, it seems like they're shedding those voter groups at such an unprecedented speed. It's kind of unbelievable. We are seeing an incredibly fast political shift in terms of demographics. We already covered young Gen Z males identifying as conservatives at the highest level since, I think, Ronald Reagan, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe since the Bush years. And now to add insult to injury for the Democrat Party, we're seeing a huge shift, arguably just as huge of a shift, when it comes to black voters. And the cherry on top, to push this phenomenon to the next level, the black vote is shifting so significantly that we're now even seeing former Black Lives Matter organizers, founders, coming out in support of endorsing Donald Trump for president ahead of 2024. I never thought those words would leave my mouth, but it's simply the reality. The demographic shift continues. Black voters are getting on the Trump train, the Trump bandwagon, as finally we are seeing a mass awakening moment. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so I wasn't kidding. Read the headline. Black Lives Matter leader turns against Democrats over, quote, racist policies. Backs Trump for president. Quote, we're not stupid. A Black Lives Matter BLM leader threw his support behind former President Donald Trump in the 2024 race for the White House, accusing the Democrats of racist policies that are working against the black community. Let's take a look at what this man had to say on Fox News.
Now to this, the co-founder of Black Lives Matter of Rhode Island is endorsing former President Trump and calling out the Democrats for what he calls years of racist policies.
We've been using abuse for so long. That party, they don't value our vote. Their policies are basically racist policies. I believe it's a racist party. Donald Trump is the opposite. He's going to tell you how it is. Like if history, Trump has done more for the black community than any president I can think of in my lifetime.
And he's not alone in his criticism. President Biden faces dismal approval numbers among black voters in key swing states. Joining us now, the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Rhode Island, Mark Fisher. Mark, thanks so much for joining the program. This is my favorite story of the day because it identifies what I've seen in the barbershop. All the brothers, for some reason right now, are turning tides right now. And I just wonder, what is the big reason?
I think personally, it's the duplicity of the Democrats. The hypocrisy. We're not stupid. The brothers are not stupid. We understand when someone's for us and when someone is not. And it's obvious that the Democratic Party is not for us. This guy hits the nail on the head. Now, I just want to clarify something. He's a Black Lives Matter founder from Rhode Island. But the headline here, the story here isn't BLM endorses Donald Trump, but rather a former BLM leader and founder, now turned conservative, who's seen the light. That's the perfect headline. It's not Patrice Campbellers and the BLM organization that money laundered fundraising dollars to the Democrat Party and Active Blue. It's not the BLM organization that scammed the American public so they can buy lavish mansions. We're talking about a lone activist. We're talking about an individual who's likely dedicated his life to the betterment of black lives. Somebody who probably at the time wasn't able to see through the BLM charade, bought into all the narratives, and had a awakening moment where he finally realized the truth. You can only take advantage of a group of people for so long until they wake up. You can only fail to deliver tangible results to your constituents for so long until people start to wake up and people say enough is enough. And that's what we're seeing, folks. We've covered so many different stories, which helps us come to the conclusion. This is the inflection point, especially with black voters. I think it's a realization moment. I think people are finally paying attention. They aren't just voting for Hillary Clinton or voting for the Democrat Party because Hillary Clinton went on the Charlemagne the God podcast and talked about how she has hot sauce in her purse. I think people are realizing that empty pandering. People are getting privy to the nonstop lies, the false bill of goods marketed by the Democrat Party towards black voters. Vote for us, because everybody's racist. Vote for us, because Donald Trump is racist. Vote for us if you want the right to vote. If you don't want to be put back in chains, right?
gonna put you on back to jail.
You know, the non-stop fear-mongering, using slavery and civil rights, and lack of rights or the possible stripping of rights as an emotional tool to manipulate black voters, to arguably, I mean, you could even say in a twisted way, kind of blackmail black voters into supporting the Democratic Party. Meanwhile, the actual reality of policies are failing schools, unsafe neighborhoods, drug-ridden neighborhoods. Now we have the illegal migration crisis, hitting majority black communities more so than anybody else. A uniquely Democrat Joe Biden-made problem. The economic state continues to deteriorate. Black Americans are doing worse, making less money and less employed. And I think it's kind of like a head-scratching moment, you know? We voted for this guy. We voted for Joe Biden because he said that Trump was the problem and that he was going to make our life better. We voted for him, and now literally everything is worse. We have less, and our neighborhoods are falling apart. I think a lot of people are thinking, you know, maybe Trump wasn't that bad. Maybe Trump wasn't a racist. Or maybe, hopefully, I think the conclusion that we should be getting to is that racially targeted politics in general, identity politics, is toxic and clearly manipulative rather than substantive. You know, maybe Trump and Republicans aren't racists because they refuse to pander to specific voter groups and promise, you know, everything in the world. Maybe a more individualist economic approach is the best approach. Absolutely it is. You know, government policies, government departments, government subsidies and spending targeting particular groups has never helped anybody. The only way that you help communities is by creating an even economic playing field, creating safe neighborhoods, strong, thriving neighborhoods with economic advancement and opportunity, with thriving businesses, safe streets. And so what people aren't realizing, what I hope people are realizing, is that they need to look for public safety and free market capitalism. That's how we solve these problems. You know, Donald Trump did the most for black voters, did the most for black Americans, more so than pretty much every other modern American president, without actually doing anything for black Americans. See, that's kind of what people need to realize. What black America needs is what America needs. Economic freedom and strong policing. And that was the path that the Trump administration was attempting to pave. Joe Biden took the bulldozer to it, obviously. Now it's time to go back. It's time to repave the road. It's time to go back and undo all the damage. It's time to leave all the identity politics, the grifter politics, the grievance politics. It's time to move forward and focus on what matters. Economics, free trade, open markets, less burdensome regulation, less government in general, and more power to the individual. That's how you thrive, that's how individuals thrive, that's how families thrive, and that's how communities thrive. Everything the Democrats do is by design to keep you in a box, to keep you suppressed, desperate, dependent. It's time to wake up, it's time to free yourself from the Democrat plantation. All that's needed is a little inspiration, a little political inspiration, you know? The revival of the American dream is how we solve most of these problems. And the only way to do that is to get Joe Biden and all of these Democrats, and even some of these Republicans and their grubby little heads, out of your life. To stop with all the culture war nonsense and identity politics nonsense, and to focus on trade and freedom. The answer's there, it's been there, and now even former BLM founders are starting to find it, they're starting to see it. The answer is Trump. It's Donald J. Trump for president 2024. That's what it is. Let's freaking go, folks. If this isn't proof that things are changing, then I don't know what is. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, friends, and I will see you on the next one.
Here comes the first herd.
Okay, this is what I would say if I were advising someone to run. I don't care who I work with. I am going to do several things at the border. One, whatever the physical thing is that they say they need, I'm going to finish it. I also know that we're not a wall away from being safe. I'm going to triple all of our processing capacities. I am going to triple our security capacity so you don't have the men and women who are keeping us safe there burdened by case dispositions. I'm going to build out these massive places to humanely house, probably better than where they're coming from. Take care of their kids, to keep all the families together all night. They're human beings. And I'm going to process them immediately
And I'm going to change the laws of what asylum means. And we're going to have a debate, and you guys are going to tell me either economic asylum is okay or it isn't. And if it is, under what guidelines. But once we get our rules set, right, and the guys who run it, CBP, have been saying for a generation, the rules don't work on asylum because we don't allow economic asylum except for this special deal we got Venezuela. And once we have our rules, and I have my processing, and I have my places, you come in illegally, I catch you, I put you in the center, because you claim asylum. I have no rules, so I can fast track you. You don't check the box. You'll figure out what the boxes are. You're going to check the box. I'm going to process you, and I'm going to send you back. It's going to be expensive, but it's going to be less expensive than what we're doing right now. And I'm going to take the people who are here. They're all paying taxes. We'll figure out their citizenship status later.
Sounds like you're going to be voting for Trump.
Everybody's paying it. If he had gotten more of it done. Because to him, the wall was a metaphor. That's all he needed. You know, they made that up on the campaign bus. We were never a wall away from safety. The numbers were down. Why? Because Michelin, Google that name, Mcalenean. When he ran Homeland Security, CBP before him, he wound up leaving because he couldn't take what was happening with Trump. But this guy's, back to our earlier conversation about the institutions in the deep state, this is a guy who's been there forever, who's doing the job for the right reasons. He cut these deals with the home countries and with Mexico. That was the key. We cannot have everybody be processed at our border. You should set up infrastructure and pay in the home countries to have processing done then, unless it's extreme. So if you do that as your domestic issue, that's my only domestic issue for you. Foreign, I'm getting Iran.
Can Trump do anything to get your vote?
Could Trump do something to get my vote?
To get your vote? Or is it that personal and frustrating to not give it?
Well, first of all, and this should be he has made life gratuitously. I used to on a regular basis. And I was to his guys on an all-the-time basis, okay? And I did not go after him personally. I interviewed him routinely. I was one of the people who sent him to owner interviews. And we were smart enough at CNN to say, up her deal. And her campaign was like, no, we're not giving you an interview like every third day. That's on them. He wanted the opportunity, we gave it to him. Oh, but the phone, he should be in front of a camera. Whatever. You know, you're either making your case or you're not. But you make it hard for me. I'm no different than you. If he had done something that made it harder for your kids in school, is he going to get your vote?
If Trump did?
Yeah.
To me, I'm purely based on policy because I don't need to have a relationship with that individual. Okay? Meaning, will there be personal stuff that if somebody goes after my brother and that side? Absolutely. But that's not Trump's doing. That's the establishment doing.
Oh, no, I'm not blaming him for what happened to Trump. I'm not blaming him.
What happened to even you, bro? What happened to you is...
I'm not blaming him for me either.
I know.
Although I know he's celebrating.
He went after my family, Bill. And what he did.
And he did. By weaponizing,
they went after your family. The establishment went after your family.
There's no question that we have had our travails. You will never, we talk on a regular basis, you will never hear any sense of pity party coming from me. I'm no victim. My brother's no victim.
Oh, I totally get that. That's not why I'm saying it. I'm saying be a victim.
There were things happen that obviously I'm not happy about, that I don't think was fair. And that's okay, because life is life. Life is not fair. Fair is the only four-letter word my therapist always says. And I love that line, so I'll steal it. But I don't go policy. I think policy is a panacea in a lot of ways. You know, it's really a cure-all if you will get to it. But the people, man, and if you don't act with integrity, and you want to lead me, by the way, I'm not saying it's standard for me. I'm flawed. I don't want to lead. I'm not asking for your vote. I don't think I'm the best of us. I think I'm the rest of us. If you want to be elevated, well, then there's going to be a standard. He does not meet that standard. Now, the best argument for him is, Biden doesn't. I didn't say that. Oh, yeah, but you said Biden's a nice guy. He is a nice guy. I loved his son, Bo. Bo would have been an amazing leader for our country. Would have been a generational leader. He was not, Joe was nice when my father died.
He said nice things to us. That's nice. Do I think he's the best of us? No. Do I think he's the best we can do as president? Absolutely not. Do I think he's the best the Democrats can do? Hell no. If you get those two, though, you're going to sit it out. Or you're going to go, if it's Biden, Trump, look, for me, again, we survived the Trump administration. Would we survive another one? Yes. Yes. I don't think there's any greater risk to America with him than with Biden. There are people who are now going to attack me and say, what are you talking about? Trump is like this crazy man. Look, you know, as Patrick says, the day is the data. Nobody was trying to kill us when Trump was president in a way that did not now. If anything, there's more hostility, and you can have reasons for that any way you want. I'm just saying, existentially, I'm not afraid of a Trump presidency. Existentially, I'm not afraid of another Biden presidency because, unlike many people in America, I believe that the country is much stronger than any individual leader. We survived the Russian thing. We survived January 6th. We survived having Biden as a gaffe machine. We survived Congress going after each other and doing nothing for the rest of us. We survived these things. Are we better for it? No. Should we be doing things differently? Yes. I think it happens. I don't know when. I don't even know why. But, you know, in terms of who I'm going to vote for, I would really have to see where we are at that moment in time. And so you're open to Trump vote? I am always open. And I'll tell you this, people say, bullshit, you've never voted for a Republican in your life. Wrong. And not only have I, the first vote I ever cast was for a Republican. Who was that? 1988. I'm a freshman in college. Dukakis is voting against George H.W.
God damn it, dude.
Dukakis, honorable man, good man, one of the early victims of media savagery. I agree with what they did to his wife. But, to me, he was too close to my father's story. And it bothered me that if it's going to be him, then it should have been Pop. I voted for Bush. Was he the guy that they put in the tank and he just looked like came over back helmet that was like this? Yeah, it just was not like so okay. So I'm open. Look, John McCain, okay, may rest in peace. When he was running against Obama, I believed in him as a leader. And look, people will talk about him personally and all these things. He lived through tremendous things. Of course, there are going to be scars on him. Of course, he had personal limitations and some eccentricities. But he defined his own fate. If it had stayed without the economy going down, he was a strong choice for keeping America safe. When the economy happened, he'd already sold himself out. But I was very strongly supportive. Chris, for you to even think about the two votes, you have 4 years of results with Trump, 4 years of results, 3 years of results with Biden. Data shows it's not even close. And I think that's the part, you know, with so I talk to a lot of guys in different places and we have a relationship, and I have a wide range of audience. I like sports. So the sports liberals are like, dude, I watch your shit, but I don't agree with your politics, dude. I just talking about sports. I'm just gonna talk. I like Hollywood, and I'm freaking, like, I know hip-hop, like, from, you know, 1990 to 2003. And I know some real go back a little bit more to Big Daddy Kane. Because Big Daddy Kane, so Big Daddy Kane is strong. Come and get some, you bum. Yeah. So for me, my range is, I'm so interested in so many different topics. But to me, I think sometimes the creative, the liberal side is like, oh, if there is anybody you can, and if they find out where you live in your community, you voted for him, dude, your tires will be slashed every flipping day for months straight. And then, do you know what kind of things they would do to you? And that fear of losing that, I have no fear, Chris. They're not for me. Chris, if you voted for Trump, you know what they would do to you? They would torture you. They would torture. Listen, I didn't say I would vote for Trump. I'm saying you have to be open to the circumstances at the time. And to me, the alternative is Joe.